Hi, everybody. Cindy Kabika here with Energized Living Today. And our last interview, BJ King. I cannot wait for y'all to meet her. She's a conscious channel for the masters of the spiritual hierarchy and also the Intergalactic Federation. What makes her so unique is the way she approaches this. I mean, just honest and direct, and she's funny and engaging, and she tells the story of how this whole journey began for her. It's really funny and very serious, and it's led to some absolutely incredible work. I can't wait for you to meet her. Here's a clip with her talking about how she got started.
The biggest problem that Spirit sees with our humanity is that we do not have the right definition of ourselves. We think of ourselves as just human, when in actuality, we are God, operating through these personalities for the benefit of Earth, all species of life on the Earth and beyond. This is the truth of who we are. But we, through history, were talked out of our divinity to be only human and to be ruled and controlled by religion, by politics, by all things other than our soul and other than God itself. Because the thing that makes our hearts beat is God.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the Bible says, look within yourself, it's always trying to get you to connect to that part of yourself. Connect to that part of yourself that is divinity, the part of you that is actually your soul. And the other challenge we have is that we were not taught that the soul created the body for its use. And we think, the ego thinks that this is mine and I will tell you how to run it. And until you communicate with your soul, you follow all these frustrating dead-end streets that you go into in your life and bad choices that we make from the ego level that we later have to clean up or live with. So to make soul communication your most important thing to seek is what I try to convince people of. I tried it for the first time in 1982 because I was desperate to find out who I was and what the hell I was here for. I didn't have a clue what I was supposed to be doing. Everything I had tried had fallen apart.
Now, I would love for you to tell the story about how all of this came to be, because it is something. It is miraculous. One miraculous thing after another.
It has been.
Yeah.
In 1979, I got a divorce. I took my children and moved to Oklahoma City to marry a man who was an Episcopal priest. And he had the audacity to die in my bed 4 days after I'd rearranged my entire life to be with him. And I was a very high-ranking Episcopalian at that point, president of the women of the church, secretary of the diocese. And so 2 different bishops from Texas and Oklahoma called to excommunicate me because I'd killed one of their priests, making love to him, in their opinion. And it was the only control they actually have over me, would be to excommunicate me, because I was very much into religion. But after that happened, I realized that I had to go to God myself. I had to go directly to God. And I didn't have a clue how to do that, really. And so I just turned my life over to God. I said, I'll go anywhere, do anything, say anything you want me to say, if you'll just talk to me. And of course, I was hoping for Charlton Heston's voice, so that I could be sure that it was God. But of course, nothing happened. It was silent. And I was even more depressed. But I've always been raised to believe that I could get a book and read the book and learn how to do a thing. And so I thought, well, surely someone has written a book on how to find your life purpose. So I went to a Walden's bookstore. I didn't even know the word metaphysics or what psychics were. And I was so depressed that I just walked right past the occult section of the bookstore, which I would normally avoid at all cost. And as I walked by, God threw a book off the shelf at me and landed on the floor in front of me called Psychic Energy. And I picked up the book. It was ugly. Back in the 80s, these metaphysical books were not pretty like they are now. And I don't do ugly because I'm a Venusian and we only do pretty or beautiful. And so I certainly didn't want to do anything that had anything to do with being psychic. So I put it back on the shelf and went back to psychology and self-help and religion, where your help is supposed to come from. And there was no book then on how to find your life purpose. I have since written the book that I was looking for, and it'll be available on Cindy's website. But when I walked back past the book, it was now lit up. It had this white glowing light around it. And I thought I was having a nervous breakdown, that I had earned it, I deserved it, and it was now happening to me because things did not light up in my reality. But I'm also extremely pragmatic, which is why I call myself a practical mystic. And I bought the book, and on the way home, I made a bargain with God. And I said, if you've got a message for me in this book, it needs to be on one page, because I'm not going to read this ugly book. And so when I got home, I told God, okay, we used to take the Bible and we'd close our eyes and ask a question, and we'd put our finger down when we opened the Bible, and that was supposed to be the answer. And so I said, I will do that with this book. And I did. And the page I opened to was how to meditate to receive inspired writing from your soul, which was what I was asking for, was direct communication. So I thought, I will try this. So I took a shower to symbolically cleanse my aura, even though I didn't know what the hell an aura was. I was going to get it really clean because I didn't want to screw this up. And I took the phone off the hook, and I lit a white candle, and I sat on the couch with my spine straight, and I started breathing and counting the way it's suggested in the book. And my left brain just went crazy. It was like, this is the dumbest thing you've ever done. This is not going to work. For God's sake, get a job, put the phone on the hook and go get a job, because I was also unemployed at that moment. And I said, no, I'm just going to keep sitting here until God says something to me. And so I just kept breathing and counting and breathing and counting. And after a little while, on the right side of my brain, words were impressed. It was not a voice. It will not be a voice. It's just telepathic words that get impressed on your right brain. And it said, through this pen will come the words you need. And I was expecting either a voice or a hand to write by itself. So I just kept sitting there, and it kept saying the same thing. Through this pen will come the words you need. I'm not a patient person. And so about the fourth time I said, what? And it was like a record skipping a beat. There were 5 more words and 5 more words. Fortunately, it goes slow enough that I could write out what was being said. 7 legal-sized pages later, the words stopped, and I went back and read what had been written. And I tried to convince myself that I'd made the whole thing up, because I didn't really want to believe that God really was talking to me. But in the middle of the 7 pages, there was a line that said, try this for 30 days before you give up. And as I said, I'm not a patient person. So the idea of getting myself to do anything for 30 days was completely out of the question. I would not have tried to convince myself to do that. So I could not dismiss the whole thing because of that one line. And in the conversation, God said, now that you've given your will to me, you will find that my will for you will very closely parallel your own true heart's desire.
See what I mean? Don't you just love her? She goes so deep, she's so direct, and she puts that spin of humor on it. I just love her. She's just, just yummy. And this interview, she's actually extended this interview for us. It's an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 40 minutes. So when you sit down to listen to BJ, be sure you have all your creature comforts, put on your comfy clothes, and take notes. She really goes deep in this and explains spiritual expansion and contraction from the Federation's point of view. So it's a very different approach than the other speakers that we've had on. This has been a phenomenal week. A lot of different approaches here. Watch all the videos. We're leaving them up for the whole week. So we want to make sure everyone has the opportunity to watch them. Now, to catch her today, we've done this on 11/11 on purpose. We brought BJ in because we wanted that gateway number, that double 11s there. And so watch her today at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific at energizedlivingtoday.com/live. You can also get our emails at energizedlivingtoday.com. And you can listen to the replay if you don't happen to catch this. Then you can listen to the replay at energizedlivingtoday.com/replay. See, we make it really easy because we want to get the message out. We are here for you. Changing the world starts with us. If we change what's going on here, the whole world can feel it because we are one. I look forward to you being part of our community, and enjoy BJ. I know that you will. She's amazing, amazing. Mwah.